In the last video I talked about how mindfulness can be used to improve your mental health and how photography is a tool that can help us do that.
Flatbread?
I don't know what I'm in the mood for. What are you in the mood for?
You know what I mean?
Ooh. So you might have heard people talking about mindfulness before and thought to yourself, what exactly is mindfulness and where does photography come into it?
Hello? Hello?
So mindfulness is basically just the art of being fully present and engaged in the current moment without fear of judgment or distraction basically. And it involves being or paying deliberate attention to your current surroundings and your thoughts and feelings and how your physical body feels. Do you ever had that sensation where you suddenly become very aware of yourself? Like you may have been sitting in a bit of a weird position for too long and your back is hunched and tense, your shoulders a bit rounded, you've got a bit of a tension headache because you've scrunched your eyes for too long, staring at a screen, that kind of thing. Well, mindfulness can help us reach that point of awareness, not just with how we're feeling physically, but also mentally. I know, what's he doing now? He's still not taking any photos, doing something in his garage, but you know, here we are. Anyway, in my personal experience, I think looking back, one of the biggest blockers for me improving my life and my mental well-being was just simply not being consciously aware of the negative thoughts going on in my head and the huge impact that had on me. So I went through CBT, which is cognitive behavioral therapy for those of you who've never been through that kind of thing before. And I know a lot of people don't like it, but it really helped me. The main thing that it helped me with is bringing these unconscious and unfiltered thoughts to the forefront of my mind rather than just letting them run wild inside my head. Which is a skill I think needs to be taught in schools, but that's a topic for another time. I think one of the reasons that people often find CBT ineffective is because it doesn't necessarily offer a solution to your problems. Instead, and for me anyway, when I was going through it, what it offered was a tool to be more aware of how I was thinking and feeling, and these unconscious kind of thoughts and feelings that were running around, which were impacting on my mental health long term. And once I was consciously aware of that, I can then put steps in place to start addressing that. So it's an awareness tool so that you can identify and then solve your problem. For me anyway. As a young adult, I had a really difficult experience in my formative years, late teens, early 20s, and eventually I developed an extremely negative attitude towards life. I would use self-harm, alcohol, drugs, and smoking as kind of coping mechanisms, which led to a point eventually where I was disassociating from life so much I almost became another statistic. And I can't remember the exact turning point precisely, but it come about because of the amazing people in my life showing me the love that I didn't feel I deserved. And with that and the help of CBT, I started to slowly realize that I was wrong. Oh God. Right, we're done with the garage for today, so let's take this video somewhere else random. So as you can tell, the wind really trashed the audio here, so I'm going to have to dub over this a little bit. But what Jamie is trying to tell you here is how he got into photography in the first place. So this started a little while before COVID. I bought a camera because my good friend Stu, who does a lot of vlogging, tried to convince me to get into it. And I tried that for a bit. I gave it up pretty quickly because of mental health issues at the time, and basically because I didn't feel I had anything of value to talk about. COVID was really, really hard for everyone, but I was pretty fortunate in that I think it was about mid-2022, I got the opportunity to photograph a colleague's wedding, and it was a COVID wedding that had been rescheduled multiple times and they'd lost out on their professional photographer, basically. So despite having no experience whatsoever, I agreed, and I went in with the attitude of, I'm just gonna give it a go and do my best. And overall, I spent a lot of time and energy preparing and managing that because I knew that I didn't have the skills or equipment really to pull it off. So I wouldn't say that they were the most flawless photos by any means, but I had a great time, and the couple get to relive their special day as a result now. And that kind of pushed me to continue following that passion and spend some time learning the skills to be a better photographer. It took me till around now in 2024 to really understand why it is that I fell in love with photography so much. And I realized that having this creative outlet improved my mental health. And when I was reflecting on it further, it's not just an art form. For me, it's also a mindfulness tool in the same way that CBT was. In so many different ways, photography kind of forces me to look at things in a different way. It forces me to kind of snap out of the autopilot mode that I'm often in, and to be aware and confront my unhelpful thoughts, feelings, and work on myself, basically. In the grand scheme of things, I really haven't been doing this that long, but already photography has taught me so much and challenged me to grow, not just as a photographer, but as a person too.
But to hide behind here for a second because it is far too windy out there. But like I was saying, one of the ways that photography has really helped me grow as a person, or challenged me to grow as a person really, is by getting me to post my photos and videos out for the world to see, which can be a really scary thing. And I think because you're not just exposing your work, you're exposing yourself for the world to possibly ridicule as like a worst case scenario. And the other thing as well is the strive for originality. It's one of those things that it's very easy to try and, you know, jump on a trend or to do what you think other people expect or want from you. And, you know, holding true to who you are and what you want to do as a person and as a creative, I think it builds resilience, and also you learn your own self-worth as well. I think that's a really important lesson. Anyway, so that's enough banging on about how photography has helped me in my life. What's it done for you? Or has it done anything for you? Are you even doing photography at the minute? I don't know. Tell me. Hit me up in the comments or drop me a message. Be nice to actually start talking to some people online. That camera nearly went then. Oh. I nearly had to run for you then. I'm gonna, no, I can't do it, can't do it. Hey, that could have been bad, couldn't it? Bloody hell. Right, and on that note, yeah, I'm gonna leave it there for this video anyway. I'm gonna go back home after taking a shot of that lighthouse. Can you see that? Little lighthouse here. Woo. Right, so I'll leave it there anyway. Please get in touch. Really nice to speak to you. And yeah, I'll see you next time. All the best.